Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, it's never going to happen to you until it happens to you. Everybody out there, when we go on holidays, especially when we go on cruising, we think we're just going to get on the ship. They have a medical facility on board. If anything happens, I'm going to be okay and everything's good. And some people still don't take insurance out when you go on a trip. And it's gonna bite somebody in the butt at some point. Here's a perfect example. In the space of 24 hours, 3 separate cruise ships had to medically evacuate 4 people within 24 hours off the West Coast. One was on the MAJESTIC Princess, apparent stroke victims. In fact, 2 passengers were on that, each suffering different symptoms and needed to get to a hospital. The Carnival Spirit and the Carnival Panorama each had stroke victims on board as well. All within 24 hours. That was a big day for the air-sea rescue. Some of these ships were over 500 miles away from Los Angeles when this happened, but they sent out the helicopters and got the people back, and as far as I know right now, they are still doing well. But it brings up that point. Everybody thinks when you go on holiday, it's never going to happen to you, right? And, oh, I'm only going to go on a 3-day cruise or a 4-day cruise. Even a 7-day cruise, people say I'm feeling really good. I'm not going to spend $400, $500, $600 on insurance. And then something like this happens, and you need to be medically evacuated from a cruise ship. You're talking $10,000 to $20,000 before you get any treatment in the hospital. And if you don't have insurance for it, you could be in trouble. That can literally bankrupt some people. In fact, one case I recollect now, it happened just before the pandemic, so even it would be more expensive now. Let's put it that way. But one person was in a foreign country in a smaller destination, and they ended up having to be medically evacuated. They got to the hospital, and then that hospital did their best to get them under control and everything but they still weren't getting the proper care that they wanted. It wasn't it wasn't Los Angeles. It wasn't an American hospital. It was a small third world hospital. They didn't have all the facilities that they have in the United States, Canada, Britain, etc. Well, they had to be medically evacuated from there back to their own home country. Now, how much do you think, and by the time they got back to their own home country, by the way, they spent 3 weeks in that hospital in the third world country. And I'm not going to say the third world country because I don't want to disparage anybody and say, oh, they're not really a third world country. You know what I mean? People are going to be like that. But then they got evacuated back to the United States and ended up spending another 6 weeks in hospital. That entire evacuation and reflying, etc., how much do you think it cost them? $320,000, not including the stay in the United States. $320,000. I don't know about you, but I don't have $329,000 sitting in the bank. I don't have anywhere near that in the bank. And I would lose my house, I would lose my car, I would lose everything in my bank. And by the way, person 70-some years old, late stages of life, it's kind of hard to recoup that back. So I gotta tell people out there over and over and over again, it's not worth not having medical insurance. It's just not worth it. It takes one time to completely devastate your life. And the extra expense it costs you right now, build it into your plan. Plan to have insurance, because it just makes common sense. Most people wouldn't drive their car without insurance. Because if anything ever happened, you can't pay for your car. Your car's gone, you need a new car. Same with your insurance. If something happens on your cruise, you need to be covered. It might take some time to get the money from the insurance, but you're going to get the money. And it won't bankrupt you or your family. And worse, what if you're in that country with no insurance and don't have any money to pay for it? If you have insurance, the hospital and everything in that area will usually go, okay, they have insurance, it's valid, the insurance starts to work with the hospital, and you get results. It might take time, but you get results. If you have nothing, you're requesting loans from the bank from a different country because of medical emergency, good luck. Just good luck. That is one of the worst things. And what if you're alone? Even worse, you're alone in a foreign country and trying to do this while in hospital. It's got to be my number one tip. My number one tip every time is make sure you have travel insurance. And I hope the 4 people who just had to get medically evacuated off of 3 different cruise ships within 24 hours, for goodness sakes, I hope they had insurance. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.